Just a few minutes afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian. I was going to say good morning.
You didn't think that one out as well.
Yeah. Couple of afternoon, I was say good morning with Brian and Ron here for you. And, of course, you can see it's going to be a fun day here. Now, we had lots of rain over the evening and last night. It's nice now. It's unbelievable. It's supposed to get cooler, so it's supposed to be beautiful for the rest of the day. Maybe a couple of showers, and tomorrow is supposed to be perfect. So with that said, we got the seal sloppy track to start today, but if it stays like this, watch it. It'll dry out. And, of course, we got the all-weather Tapeta, no turf racing this afternoon. Got 11 races to talk about today. We've got the Rainbow Six starting in race 6 with a $50,000 gross jackpot guarantee. We got lots of action going on, and, of course, we have 2 pick 5s each and every day. And Brian was up all night long working on this early pick 5. He called me at 4 in the morning and said, I'm stumped, but I think I got it figured out.
You're the only guy I could call at 4 in the morning that would answer, too, because you were probably just getting up to walk the dog. $27 in the early pick 5, and the single, I keep having these singles right off the rip, and they haven't been making me look too good. Race number 2, we go to the 5. I worked this race around a little bit. I don't normally do that when we go from the turf to the Tapeta. I did do that. I put number 5, Valiant Avenger, on top in race 3. Siango down inside, a replay coming up for that one. In race 4, Long Beach Kid, another replay coming up for that one. And then in the get-out leg, we're off the turf in race 5. Still the top pick, my long shot play of the day. I didn't want to change my long shot, on military drill at a big, big number on the outside.
Big, big number. I'm glad you're finally understanding this game a little bit. Getting to the first race, we are in agreement. A little tepid on the board right now, but very early in the wagering with the number 3, Snow Job, who's dropping to the 16 level after facing tougher before going to the sidelines last June at Sarah Nagel. She's pretty good with her all-weather runners, about 25%. And, boy, she's got this gelding working forwardly for the return.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day. And the turf races, now obviously we haven't been on the Tapeta, so it's an unknown, but we've always said it. If you can handle the turf, you'd like to think you can handle the Tapeta. And the turf races for this one, this gelded Munnings one, it's just way better than these. And I like the fact, Ronnie, you mentioned the works. That's positive. The barn is just very high percentage in basically everything she does. And Edwin Gonzalez is here, too. And I think that's significant because now we're going to run on the Tapeta. We've all been saying how good Edwin is. And Sarah's going to reach out for a go-to kind of a rider here. I think, to me, that says a lot of intent that we're firing a big shot today.
A horse that you used prominently on your ticket is the number 10, Jimmy's Mistress, who's sitting up there at 15-1 for Jeremiah O'Dwyer, and I think you have a video to show.
I'm going to show a video. Jerry's 28% second out maidens, too, and this horse just really lost all chance at the start. We're going to show it here, and you're going to just see this horse check out of it, check again. Whoa, that's not where you want to be, going 5.5 in there, the old "they're off, you lose" angle. And here we can see it again. Good job, guys. Thank you. And just not ideal. And to this horse's credit, this 3-year-old Jimmy Creed colt did do a little late running. And, sometimes these maidens, when things don't go their way early, they just call it a day. We'll fight again next time. No, he ran a little bit, and I would think we're going to get better today. Hopefully we break today with the field. I mentioned Jerry already, 28% second out maiden, so we're supposed to move forward. And, Ronnie, besides our top pick, Snow Job, there is no one in here you're supposed to be scared of.
And the reason I have the number 6 in second here, K.O. Costa, who's a 3-year-old son of Treasure Beach, debuting from David Fawkes, an ideal spot for a first-time starter to succeed. Gets Lasix, Jesus Rios in the saddle. Boy, David with the Tapeta, we show his stat all the time. Hey, if you're not enamored with these previous starters, maybe you jump aboard here and get a long shot. Very, very cool on the board right now.
I just looked over as you were about to say that, 24-1. It is early in the betting, obviously, so take note of that. But if this kind of holds, that's not a good sign for a David Fawkes barn that's always well represented.
I went with the number 9 and third, and that's Joyful Surprise, turning back slightly, surrendered that late lead to finish second. It was against Simler, going 5.5. Javier Negrete has got Alyssa Morrison atop. This is a 0 for 19 gelding. Maybe you put this one somewhere on the bottom side of the ticket.
Yeah, we've got the MO, right? And that's not, we're not too interested in winning a horse race. Had a 2 2-length late lead last time, gave it up, and you see some underneath finishes, and obviously no win. So yeah, I agree with you, Ronnie, underneath.
Let's go to race number 2, originally scheduled for about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Now to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards, about distance on the Tapeta. These are starter optional claim is 35. 3-year-old started for 35 or less, so the optional tag of 35,000. Had one scratch in here, number 3, and that's the beauty of the all-weather. Even when we're on the turf, we get very few scratches. We've got more scratches in the main track races than we did in the races going from turf to Tapeta. You went with the number 5, Valid Avenger, who I always had on top. Let me hear your reasoning why.
Boy, this was my long shot last time, and boy, he got beat just a sliver at 23-1, and Keatodon comes back to win. So it's a good race he comes out of, was facing winners that day for the first time. There's a lot of upside in here, and some of the others in here don't have that. And I just think he's drawn well too, Ronnie, with Jaramillo aboard. And, he ran 2 turns last time, so it was a big ask last time, and he just fired. He's a big, big threat right back, right?
The number 1 horse in here is the morning line favorite. Now on the turf, I would agree with that. That's Fuerte Ventura, who's another turning back. Set the pace last time out. Drove clear to defeat those 30 maidens. That was going 8.5 furlongs on the turf. Jonathan Thomas, 20% winning consecutive races. This one's got to prove if it can handle the all-weather today.
Well, that's the only question. And I wonder if Junior, he's aggressive early because he might clear this field. There is some, horses that want to be involved to his outside. But, boy, he looked good wiring last time. We'll see what we get today, facing winners, as Ronnie mentioned, the Tapeta. But, boy, these are high-powered connections teaming up.
And I finally remembered the name of the number 6, Luca Go. You have on your ticket.
Luca Go. And Luca Go is interesting in here because, he's the house horse in here. He's run very, very well on the Tapeta, but the one thing he's never done is go 2 turns. He's by Cantharos out of a Speightstown mare, so not the best 2-turn pedigree, not the worst either. We'll see what we get today, but he's catching a lot of turf horses playing his game now.
The number 2, Euphoria Star, breaks from the approved post, started from the outside, post 11, rallied to finish 3rd behind aforementioned Keatodon and Valid Avenger last out. Edwin Gonzalez is on this one, I believe, in here, Euphoria Star. And this horse, 5 starts, 1 win, 2 seconds on all-weather track. So you got to remember that horse looks like a major player now with the surface switch. Race 3 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs. The track is sealed sloppy to start the day. Maiden claim is 3 and up, 12-5. No scratches, jockey changes. Boy, hard to go beyond Thiago here, who's dropping to the 12-5 level.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's take a replay here, too, from his last start. He's going to be the number 9. And the finishing order, okay, the finishing order in this race is 6, 3, 9, and he's going to make first run here coming up. There's a 9 emerging now away from the 7, and he's going to make first run, and he's going to ultimately pay the price because he's going to get swooped from the back by both the 6 coming into your picture now and the 3 who's not even in the picture yet. And so point being, I think this was a very, very strong run, doing the dirty work on the hard chase, making first run. Again, paying the price late. Miguel Vasquez is going to ride here, white hot of late. He's at 9.96, Ronnie. Career wins, and I'm not going to tell you he's not going to get there by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, he might. He's got a lot of interesting, good mounts today. The number 7, Sir Cupid, is the son of Cupid, debuting for trainer Todd Pletcher. But I want to show you a stat. Yesterday you showed a stat, a good stat. Watch this stat today. With his first-time starters, maiden claim is on the dirt right here at Gulfstream Park. He's only 3 for 20, 15%. 50% in the money, 89 cents is the return on investment. He doesn't start many maiden claimers here at Gulfstream Park. It's always maiden special weight, but just wanted to point that out. But it is Todd. He had a winner yesterday with a horse making its second start. This is a different situation, of course, with the debut, and you went with number 2, Pemberton, in second, who's turning back slightly today.
Yeah, check the toad on Sir Cupid. Boy, this is just not something you see that often. So Pemberton, I don't know where the race came from last time, but if he feels like running back to it, that 47 buyer, and lo and behold, that fits nicely with this group. He's a player in here. He's probably going to get overlooked. I actually thought, the 2 favorites in this race ran 1-2 the entire race around the track. So this effort to close from 7th to be 3rd was actually even better than it looked. So, if you're thinking outside the box, looking for a square price, Pemberton could be it.
Yeah, I got him on the ticket there, too. Race 4 this afternoon, about a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta. Claim is 4 and up. $10,000. Did have a scratch of the number 5 till the end. And we'll start it off with the number 5 horse that day, but 4 horse today, and that's Long Beach Kid, who you have on top.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at another replay. Rohan Crichton off the claim. You know how good that is. It's seismic. And we're going to take, he's the 5, coming out and kind of back into your picture here. And he's going to run second to Tone Feeling, who's pretty good in his own right. And that's Tone Feeling, by the way, on the lead, okay? He's loose on the lead right here. The Chicklet doesn't pick him up. That's him, and he's going to win this race. But here's Long Beach Kid, still not in your picture. Here he comes now, threading through. Good work, guys. Thank you. And he's going to get second. And when Tone Feeling, who was, bet in this spot, again, the Chicklet's not on the screen, I thought this was a pretty sneaky good effort, against the race flow. The winner was very, very good. He got loose early. He was very, very game late. Long Beach Kid, and now we go off the claim for Rohan, which is just a huge, huge angle, 41%. The barn is just doing everything right for an extended period of time. Long Beach Kid, go time today.
Also, he's 19% with his Tapeta runners, and this horse, a previous winner at the distance on the all-weather surface. I did go with the number 2, Papa Anna, stretching out to the mile in the 16th. After tugging between horses, he finished 3rd that day against this level of competition, going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. Muhammad Mubarak, who claimed him 2 starts ago. It's got Miguel Vasquez in the saddle. Muhammad, all his horses that he's been claiming and running have been showing some, good ability, and I think today is the day that maybe Paparana and, with Miguel Vasquez in the saddle, how could you go wrong? Put this one on top of my ticket.
Yeah, I agree. You just draw a line through the dirt race 2 back, and his overall body of work on the Tapeta is as good, if not better, than anyone else in here.
And the old number 8 Farley is hoping to bounce back after following that Wellman second. That was on April 2nd. Comes back, he weakens 4th. Antonio, leading jock, Junior Alvarado, going to jump aboard today, so he's certainly got to give this one a second look. Actually, he's the morning line favorite in there.
Yeah, and I think if Junior's aggressive from this outside draw, he might be able to shake loose early, which isn't going to hurt his chances either.
Race 5 originally scheduled for 5 furlongs on the turf, now to be run at about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's an allowance optional claimer for state-bred 4-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $20,000. We had one scratch in here of the number 5 horse in here, Lontano, and I always had the number 3 Henry's World on top. But let's hear about Military Drill. This was your long shot, I believe?
It was. The price is long gone now with Lontano coming out. But it's Paco. Paco gets aboard here on a horse that doesn't have the best overall form, but I thought he ran okay last time, dueling through wild splits, and now he's outside with a better post today, and Paco can kind of dictate. Again, the price is really going to take a big dip with Lontano, who's 2-1, so we lose 33 points on that morning line. But still, I like this outside post for the type of rider that Paco is, and let's see if maybe he's still going to offer some value in here.
Trained by Samantha Dobles, Liz's sister, so we'll see how that one runs. I did go with Henry's World, who goes to the Jeff Mullins barn after the claim. Set a pressured pace last time out prior to finishing 3rd at this level in distance on the turf. The barn is 38% with new claims. You get Miguel Vasquez returning on the son of Soldat. Look at his record on all-weather surfaces. 3 starts with 2 wins. So certainly Henry's World on top of my ticket. Boy, Brian, I had some interest in number 7 Zano, who faced tougher in its only previous race on the Tapeta drops. Failed to show much against better on the turf. I was looking for a sneaky horse underneath. That was the first off the claim by Dave Brownie. Maybe this horse, with the drop in competition, can grab a share with the surface switch. Yeah,
I mean, if he can somehow get back to that race, he's a big player in here. Now, he didn't run last time against better, admittedly, but, that Tapeta race does play with this kind of group. He's got a stalking gear, too, in a race where there's going to be some speed, so you get Jaramillo aboard as well. So, yeah, he's going to be a price in here.
Yeah, and 2 tape-to-tape I had highly rated on the turf, highly rated, and now, and just look at this horse, 0 for 8 on all-weather track, so going to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those days where, washed off the turf onto the Tapeta, you got to kind of look again a little bit. You and I have talked about a lot of times we do leave our picks the same, but in some of these races, like that's a perfect example. This horse, to me, really hit hard on turf, maybe not as well on the Tapeta.
We're going to take a short break, come back, have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. two path. Ground ball first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. That commercial gets to me every time. Race 6 is a 7-furlong sprint on the main track. If you're just joining us, no turf racing today, and the main track is starting today, sealed and sloppy, but we got some really nice weather behind us right now. This one's 7-furlong, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds of 4 and up with known as a 2. Only 1 scratch in the race to 2, but more importantly is where the Rainbow 6 starts. I went back to 43.20 this afternoon, see if I can get out of this mess I keep digging myself into. 3 deep in this race, we'll talk about it. 3 deep in race number 7 with Stormy Patton, Catton, and Cyber Viking. Nice horses in that race. Race number 8 this afternoon, just maybe Lucky and Wild and Pearl in the rough, who was actually my long shot on the turf yesterday. Race number 9, picking up the pennies, looks awful strong in there, but I also used Big Daddy Dave on my ticket, who's the son of Kozan. Should love the synthetic track there. And then in race number 10, King Cab, well-defined. King Cab, very impressive. A lot of speed in that race. And then the last, my long shot of the day was on the turf, but I left it on there. Still have interest on the drop, and that's the 5-Volte Face, Sonic Kitten, and Caribbean Gold for me for $43.20.
No I thought maybe there was a chance you singled King Cab.
Nah, I just see so much speed in there, and you know, he's never been on a wet track before. So,
yeah.
Well, you know, I just, you know me, always looking to find something in here. I got 4 or 5 out of 6 locked up. The problem is you need 6 out of 6. Getting back to this race, the 6 Kenya Sun is on top of my ticket, who drops. You can say, wait, it says 6,250. This is a dated claimer. Those 2 lifetime horses he faced last time out were better. I think class-wise, this dated claimer means, you know, a race since, you know, a certain amount of time. I just thought this was a good spot for Victor Barboza Jr., Paco Lopez handling the stretch out today to 7/8 of a mile. You got this horse on top, too. I'm
with you. Absolutely. She's in a really, really good spot here. I like Paco getting aboard. You know, boy, she ran fast last time. We're talking about 62.50 claimer, 2Ls here to go 45-1, and yes, she gave up a 1-length open lead late, but boy, you know, you're not supposed to run that fast early and stick around late.
I might have missed the number 4 that you have in second. It's actually the morning line favorite in here, the Chevalita. This one, you know, maybe this is the one to go with for Bobby Hess with Angel Arroyo.
I don't know. Boy, she was just not very good last time, and now she drops again. With that being said, Aleka Star, when she's good, is really, really solid. So I'm not going to hold it too far against her, but you know what that really worries me, too? She lost her speed last time. I know they flew early, but you would have expected her to be a little bit closer. Just tread lightly here if you want to take a short number.
I used the number 5, Lady Mechanic, in second. It's changing barns going to the Jose D'Angelo barn after the claim stretches out. Followed the 3rd place finish against Simla going 6.5, then comes back and runs a clunker going 3/4 of a mile. The barn is good with new claims. And I like the fact that Junior Alvarado jumps aboard.
That's the positive. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, this horse has a couple back races for Sal Matos and Gerald Brooks that would make her a threat in here. She didn't run very well at all last time. Jose, we've talked about this now yesterday, and we're going to talk about it again. I think for the first time, the barn is a little bit cold, so now we've got to see if we're going to go on a little slump here or not. But as Ronnie said, 31% off the claim on a barn that just did nothing wrong all championship meet.
What about the 10, Adios Dixie, who breaks from the outside, drops to this level for Mr. Dan Peter, I believe, had a win yesterday.
Yeah, he did. And it's a drop. I mean, there's no doubt. He drops in half from 12.5. We get off the rail. We go outside. That bodes well. You know, we're well drawn with tactical speed. Miguel Vasquez.
Miguel Vasquez in the saddle today. Race 7 today is a mild starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds. Starter for 50 or less, or the optional tag of 50,000. Scratch the number 3 horse in here, Gilligan. And as I said, really nice way to start the you, late pick 5. It's some really nice horses in this race.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I only need one of them, and that's Cat. And I think, for Ralph Nix and Jaramillo, here we go here for 25. This is a fun ticket, right? There's a single. Then we'll go 5 deep in race 8. It's number 8, Starship Nugget on top. 74 is the order in the 9th, picking up pennies, and September 10. Here's my single, King Cab. To me, he's an exciting horse for Eddie Plesa Jr. And then there's the deep spread in the last. And I didn't use your long shot, so if that tells anybody what kind of race the finale is, well, there you go. Because my top pick is a number 4, Another Duke. Ronnie, I should use you in there for an extra $5. That's Volte Face.
Getting back to this 7th, as I mentioned, a mild starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds. We'll start it off with the horse in here let's go with your horse on top in here, Catton, who's stretching out to the 1-turn mile after rallying to finish 3rd in front of Stormy Patton last time out. That was in the sophomore up at Oldsmar at Tampa last time out. So a logical horse in this spot.
Yeah, I just think he's been running better against better horses. I mean, you mentioned that. We're going to talk about King Cab in a little bit. He is so good. The Pasco was a tough race, obviously. The inaugural at Tampa, he won, and now he's going to get back to Gulfstream Park where he has a win. And I just think right now he's better than these, and he draws well, too, because he's always going to have Stormy Patton, I think, in his sights.
Well, let's show you a stat with Ralph Nix with his 3-year-olds going from a sprint to route on the dirt. He's 8 for 37, 22%. He's in the money 51% of the time. 322 is the return of investment over the past 5 years. I wanted to show that because I'm also going to show a similar stat with the number 5, Stormy Patton, who's aptly named for this afternoon, is dropping into this 50 level after following back-to-back victories here with a track and fade outing. That was in that $100,000 sophomore for leading trainer Safi Joseph Jr., Junior Alvarado. And there's Safi stretching out. He's got a bigger sampling, of course, where he's 17 for 49, 35%, 67% in the money. 243 return investment. I just wanted to show that. It's more about just seeing how these guys do, and it's with 3-year-olds, which I thought was important.
I agree, and Stormy Patton is, he's well drawn to be outside of Cyber Viking, who we'll talk about in a second. Let's take a look at Stormy Patton's win on March 2nd. And here he is here, the 2. He won, don't get me wrong, but I thought he kind of had to win the way this race set up. Now, yes, I'm a Beast comes back to win. Clapton comes back to win too. But here's this trip, okay? You've got 3 horses just hustling early, and yes, I'm the Beast trying to bottom out the entire field while there's Stormy Patton in the Garden Trip just kind of licking his chops, waiting for it to unfold in front of him and to fall apart. To yes, I'm a Beast's credit, he didn't give it up, and the 5 is tightened up on in there. I just thought that Stormy Patton had to win, and that's why I'm just a little against him. And now we can segue a little bit to Cyber Viking, who's really, really good in his own right. He's probably the inside speed, right? And you can kind of maybe say Cyber Viking and Stormy Patton, they might hook up early, they might hook up often, and that's another reason why I like Catton.
The number 1, as you mentioned, Cyber, debuting locally at the distance, consistent sprint campaign against those 25 optional claimers up at Tampa for Georgie Delgado, Chantal Sutton handling the combo. This is a jump up in class and a stretch out in distance. Horse has been in good form. I don't know what 25 optional claimers up here, but Catton and Stormy Patton, there's some serious horses in this race.
And I agree with all of that, and that's why I think he might be in a tough spot. But with that being said, they're going to know he's in here for at least 5 or 6 furlongs because he's fast and he's good, and I wonder if just maybe that zaps Stormy Patton a little bit too.
I think we got to sort of mention Steel Sunshine in here, who's the morning line favorite. I just wasn't enamored with this horse a little bit.
No, he needs an absolute epic meltdown to get there, I think. And, maybe he gets it. Maybe Cyber Viking and Stormy Patton go ballistic, and maybe Catton makes first run and pays the price. But I don't know. He can draw a line through the Florida Derby,
right.
But boy, he got the absolute dream setup of the meet 2 back when King Cab went crazy early, going 9 furlongs. I see him running out of room, Ron.
Yeah, so we'll see how he runs in there. But I wanted to mention that. I mean, he's got a touch of class for sure. Race 8, 6 furlongs. Claimers, Phillies 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2, 12-5 down to 10. Nice full field of 10 in here. We'll go with your horse on top, and it's Starship Nugget, who's stepping up to face winners. Return for the layoff for Mr. Steve Dwoskin.
Well, that's where the dart landed. And I don't even have your 4 anywhere. I went 5. Now there's another Ron Nicoletti price I got to add into my late pick Big Five. I don't know. You put Steve and Miguel Vasquez together, and they are 22%. We've mentioned how hot Miguel is of late. Yes, we have to face winners today for the first time, but I kind of like that move a little bit. She finally broke through. She did it the right way, and obviously now she comes in off a win against a field that have a little trouble beating winners.
Well, the number 4, maybe Lucky and Wild, is actually 9-5 on the morning line, which I expect that. It's turning back to 3/4 of a mile. Returned from the layup to set the pace and weaken. Now, he was the odds-on choice that day, going 6.5 furlongs. But you look at the connections. Victor Barboza Jr. claimed a sophomore last time out. He's good first off the claim. And he's got Hemisial Jaramillo doling out her speed. I just thought this was the logical choice in there.
Yeah, I mean, she can definitely win. And she just failed, though, at 3-5 for Safi. And quite decisively, honestly. So, she got dueled into the ground that day, and there's other horses with speed. We know how good Jaramillo is at getting them to the lead, and Victor's 25% off the claim. But this is, to me, is the type of horse you're allowed to play against.
Well, Pearl in the Rough, the 7 that we both have in second, was my long shot yesterday on the turf. Going to Rashawn Creaky's barn after the claim, drops to the 12.5 level. First race since finishing a trouble, 4th, bumped at the start against those 20 condition claimers, going 5.5 on the main track. Kevin Krieger, this horse 2 for 2 in the money on the wet track.
And Kevin Krieger rode Rashawn's winner last week or maybe 10 days ago, so you've got that going. And this is a horse that's going to fit the flow of the race. There's a lot of speed in here.
Race number 9 this afternoon, 5.5 furlongs. Allowance optional claim is state bred 4 and up. Optional tag is $20,000. Always had picking up pennies on top of my ticket. My second and third selections, 1 and number 2, were both scratched out of this race. So, in my estimation, makes picking up pennies look a little bit better than me. Stepping up and first start since finishing second behind an impressive repeat winner. Now, if you go back and look at Mish, comes back in its next start, wins by almost 8 lengths and gets a 96 buyer for his effort that day. And that's Effie Joseph Jr., Junior Alvarado. This is a 3-time local winner. So I think with Mish beating this horse, not that badly, coming back and running the 96, sort of got my attention even more.
Yeah, without a doubt. It comes out of a really, really strong race. My only worry is real heavy speed to the inside, real heavy speed to the outside. I'm not going to say he's a need-the-lead type, but you see his 3 wins on the page. They were all when he cleared on the lead. That's not going to happen today.
The number 7, September 10, is who you have on top, who's in for the $20,000 tag today, stretching out to 3/4.
Yeah, I just think the flow of this race really fits him. I mean, look at the top 2 of his last race, came back both to win. And now he's probably going to get a 3 to 4 horse speed duel in here, at least hot splits to close into. It's Crichton, Jaramillo. There's a lot to like here.
You know, in the 5, Big Daddy Dave is going to the dirt, the wet track today after a pair of speedy efforts on the turf. And that was against better. This is son of Kozan. And Kozan, one of the best here, running on an off track, especially here at Gulfstream Park, will be in the saddle. If you're looking for the speed, this one might be the guy.
Another one that wants to go early.
Let's go to race number 10. Really nice race. Again, 6 furlongs, allowance optional claim at 3-year-olds and upward. Optional tag, $62,500. Of course, our feature race of the afternoon. Take it away with your single.
Well, I'm going to say when King Cab is right, and he's been right 3 times. He's just devastatingly good. Obviously, something went amiss in the Sire Stakes, and he was off a little bit. Clearly, the 2 turns when he ran off that day, point blank.
Yeah.
Not his thing. Look at the 3 sprints when he's had his mind on running, and I just don't see anybody beating him here, Ronnie. Plus, if he was on the rail, maybe I'd say, oh, he's going to have pressure the entire way. No, he's outside it all, and he can just do the dictating. To me, he's a really short price in here.
Yeah, Eddie Pleaser Jr. having a banner year, and he's got this horse readied with a 5 furlong bullet drill. But as I mentioned, when I was doing my Rainbow Six, never tried the wet track. Who knows if it's going to be a wet track by race number 10 with the sunshine we have behind us. I like well-defined to be part of this. 7-time local winner returns, cuts back to 3/4 of a mile, showed speed, got caught late against state-bred competition. That was going 7 furlongs. That was in the Marion County, Florida Sire Stakes. This is Kathleen, Luca Panici, 2 for 3 on the wet track. I think this one might sit a nice trip in here just off the speed today of King Cab.
He's a cool horse, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to beat you, too. And what you're kind of alluding to, I think it's probably going to be fast by the time, but there's going to be moisture in the track.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. So I could see it. If he can settle, if Luca can get him to settle a little bit, then he's a player. Maybe he gets some help if King Cab clears, then he can get to the outside. If he's down inside of King Cab, that's not going to work.
And what about the number 6 in here? Rough Entries, 8-1 in the morning line, and it's the only Rohan Crichton again.
Yeah, and he's one of the few in here that can settle a little bit, and he's shown he can pass a few horses. Look at the race 2 back. Quick Tempo and Fortin Hill. Boy, those are 2 real tigers, older horses, too. That's a trip, if he pulls it today, he'll have a chance at a much, much better price than the King Cabs of the world.
I was torn between the number 1 Real Talk and the number 3 horse in here, Senor Jobim, who's going to the Rashawn Creaky barn after the claim, returning to the main track. This one, if you look, dueled throughout, finished second, was beaten only a length against those 35 starter optional claimers, going 5.5 on the Topita. This is an 8-year-old who's 6 for 7 in the money on wet tracks. Once again, comes with the caveat, you'll be with us all day today, and we'll see how the track is playing out. So we'll see how it plays out. That was my reasoning. That what made me switch from Real Talk to this horse just because of 6 for 7 in the money on wet tracks.
Yeah, and I think Senior Jobin's going to get run off his feet a little bit, and that's not a bad thing in here with all the speed, and it's good to see as the bird
we had a bird join us here.
Says hi on just another Saturday here at Gulfstream Park, but good to see Rashawn back in the entries, claiming a couple of horses. Always good to see him.
That was Dennis's pet, that bird.
Oh, okay.
You know what his name is? Bird Reynolds.
Didn't see Dennis spring to action over there.
Bird Reynolds.
Yeah, that comes from the Mount Sinai line of jokes, I think.
Boom, boom. Let's go to the last. No more jokes, I promise.
Right.
About a mile in the 16th on the Topita. Now, this was originally scheduled for the turf claimers 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5, 10,000. Here is the beauty of the Topita. Not a scratch to tell you about in the final race. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it plays out. Let's start with my long shot in here, Volte Face, who was run well at the 12-5 level on both dirt and Topita. Drops, failed to handle the jump up. That was a tougher race, those 16 starter optional claimers. Antonio Sano reaches in for Junior Alvarado, 12-1 on the morning line, going back to the Topita. Maybe I like this horse that much more with the turf because I thought I'd get more of a, horse that would take more money in this spot. So we'll see what the odds are in here. And basically going with a horse that back at its proper level.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's it perfectly. Draw a line through the last race and just focus on the Topita race 2 back. At this level, beaten just a neck. Probably has to run a little better today. There's some better horses in here. But like we talked about earlier now, he's a Topita horse, and some of these turf horses are playing his game.
And you have also a 12-1 shot on your top of your ticket, and that is another Duke, and this one from the Mike Yates barn. This one is a son of Bodemeister.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I mean, look at we'll draw a line through the turf race last time. We get back to the Topita, and that race 2 back was against just tons better. Now, he didn't do any running, I get it, but this is a seismic class drop for another Duke.
The number 6 Sonic Kitten goes to Jose D'Angelo's barn. He hasn't been winning that many, but he's certainly been claiming. And this one drew clear to defeat those 12-5 maidens. Now, that was going a mile 70 yards on the Topita, and the barn is 31% with new claims. I don't know if that's adjusted now over the last couple of days with, not winning as he normally did, and you're getting Paco Lopez in the saddle today.
Lightly raced. That's a positive. We do face winners, and you got to improve off Savvy and the Ramseys, but there's a lot of upside here, and every race he's run better than the last one, and after just 3 starts, he can do it again.
I'm loving this, and we don't have one horse to say.
That's wild.
Not one horse. That very rarely happens. Well, I'll go with Caribbean Gold. Yeah, should be primed and ready to off more. Return from the layoffs, went up and set the pace. Yielded late to finish 3rd against this level, going 7.5 on the grass. If I remember correctly, Bobby DeBona had the win last yesterday. I know he won one. I don't know if it was last. And he's got Lionel Reyes handling the 2nd start off the bench, but it is the debut on the Topita.
We haven't talked about the pace of this race yet, and there's not much, at least not to the inside. Caribbean Gold might be the pace setter in here, and that's not a bad thing if they're walking early.
And what else? You got the one on Impeached in here.
Down inside, he'll be close, right? And he's got the Topita form. He's going to stretch out, too, so that's a little bit of an unknown, but I thought his Topita form wasn't that bad.
That's the 11 races. Let's quickly go to our lightning round because Pete is standing by with all the scratches and changes. And we had a little change of plans this morning.
A little adjustment as White Abario, who our Curlin Florida Derby winner, was supposed to have his last work for the Kentucky Derby. Safi postponed it because of the muddy, wet track and sealed track this morning. The plan is to get a 4 furlong work in tomorrow.
Yeah, and he will ship right after that on his way to Kentucky. So White Barrio will be working tomorrow. Of course, we will have it tomorrow to show you.
Yeah, and we don't have to hit on this too much because we've mentioned it about 13 times today, but Miguel Vasquez won 3 yesterday, 996 now, so the watch is on, and judging by today and by tomorrow, and here he is gutting it out with Paco's Pico. I don't think it's going to take him too long to get 4 more.
No, it's not. He's going to get some really live mounts over both Saturday and Sunday, so congratulations to him. Boy, he's been just in his zone, riding great. Boy, you can't leave him off your ticket. So we'll see how he does today, if he can get those 4 and get that celebration underway.
Yeah, and this is cool. Santa Anita returns today with 4 graded stakes, and there you see our Miles away. Our old buddy Miles Ahead is out there on the private purchase. We know him so well here, and here he is beating Drain the Clock on the square here and doing it impressively. And private purchase, and now he's out in California, and he's going to run in one of their stakes races out there. So we wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, that was the Gulfstream Park, the sprint. And this next thing I want to tell you about, the Derby Guide. This is absolutely free from first, but this is a great thing. Go look on it yesterday. You know, I found out by looking at it yesterday that, do you know the average payoff of the superfecta in the Kentucky Derby is?
$76,000.
No, like some ridiculous amount. Like the other races, the exactive pays usually $931. You know, it's just there's a lot of great information. Put it that way. And Eddie Olczek on the second version will have his selections in there. Lots of good stuff going on. And see that part right there? Absolutely free. That's the best part.
All right, 11 on tap. Announcer Pete's up next, and we'll be back with you for the opener.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.